What's up, everybody? It's been a little while. Josh is here. I'm here. Ben is running late, per lately usual. Nick is not going to be here tonight. I don't know if that's per usual. He's been busy man working all over the state. It's hard for him to make it back sometimes. But Josh and I were off last week, vacation. This is episode 242, and I heard they canceled last week while we were on vacation. So I thought tonight was 243, but it's 242. This episode and all of the episodes of Staggered Stance presented by TitanDiscGolf.com. Josh has the hat on tonight. I usually do. I think I had it with me on my vacation and I brought it back, but I can't find it for tonight. So anyways, man, we love what TitanDiscGolf.com does. I heard there's a big to-do going on at some level at Matt Schlabach's house tonight. I think that's where Ben's headed right now. Obviously, Matt's connected as an owner there with TitanDiscGolf.com. And the tour is in Des Moines this week. So, per usual, when the tour comes to your hometown or home area, it turns into chaos. Good chaos. But check out TitanDiscGolf.com. We always say it. Large selection of discs. You're not going to be disappointed in any way. Disc-appointed? And you get free shipping over $75, exclusive stamps. Use the code STAGGEREDSTANCE and take advantage of that. Really appreciate their support this year and just in general, good times there with Matt and crew. So awesome. Josh, I didn't let you say any words because we wanted to get through the intro there, but man, it's been busy. It's hotter up there 2 hours north of me, I think, than here. What are the temps for you today?
Yeah, I think maybe it hit 96, 97 with a couple degree heat index. Thankfully, it feels humid, but it's not crazy humid. But either way, and then tomorrow, right? Maybe we touch 100. And I decided to go out for like a hard, fast run, knowing the heat, and I'm like, I think I paid the price. It's hot. When it starts feeling like 100, and I know there's lots of our listeners around the country who maybe hit that regularly, but if you don't hit that regularly in your region, it's like a shock. It's like hot.
You're only a few hours south of the craziest weather on planet Earth, Mount Washington, and they could probably have snow maybe the same. I don't know if that's a thing.
Maybe not when it's this hot, but within like the same week, you certainly
within
could.
The same week. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. No pun intended if there was snow, but yeah, super hot for us. Like you said, it's unusual. And like I traveled out to Tulsa, Oklahoma about like a week from now last year. So like similar time frame. And it was this hot, Josh, every day for the whole week. And it's incredible. People are like, this is pretty normal. And we're just like shocked. It's like them getting, or maybe not Tulsa, but like Texas or Florida getting the 40s or 30s down into the 20s. They think they're going to die. So, I mean, we're probably just the opposite.
I don't mind the heat. Like I said, I actually chose to go out for a speed work.
Uh-oh, I just lost you. You went on mute to me. I don't know about the audience. So let us know if you can hear Josh still. He just dropped out for me. So it's possible they hear you. I'm going to wait to hear if someone, okay, they can't hear Josh. So I'll just keep talking here. I don't know what happened, but it literally just like shut off. So, we're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. Rebecca Dawn is going to...
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi. Rebecca Dawn has just been confirmed as joining the show some point tonight. And that's cool. We've got other hooks in the water per se. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll be relaxed on the guest appearances, but I have a feeling if Ben's going to be over at Matt Schlabach, there's going to be some type of hooligans doing stuff, hooligan disc. But yeah. So, man, there's so much to talk about. And what's interesting, Josh, is I was away for 2 weeks in a row and I heard drama come up in regards to pop, drop, lock, and Ben's submission, Nick's submission. I had a lot of time to think about it. It's also possible that discgolf.law got involved, back and forth with official documents and trying to understand how the rules should be determined. We will talk about that when we get the pop drop lock tonight. So we'll figure that out officially. We'll look at regular results. We'll look at the whole thing. And Nick will be joining us soon. Besides that, man, yeah, I see someone in the chat says, hey, it'd be nice if you let us know like old times when we weren't having a show. I actually feel that I'm going to put that on Ben and Nick. It was a very last minute decision, I guess, for them. We were away. But yeah, we appreciate everyone joining the show per usual. Josh is back, it says. And man, Brixton Disc Golf in the chat talking about Rebecca leading the charge for FPO Rookie of the Year. Josh, there are definitely storylines to talk about coming out of U.S. Women's. You and I know our show actually didn't even get to talk about the Preserve. That has its own ramifications for storylines of this year as well. So that will come up in conversation. But U.S. Women's. Josh, reactions, thoughts, break it down a little bit. What do you want to do here? I've got all different thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got tons of notes and thoughts too. So yeah, a major, we always talk about those are the events we kind of give extra credit to. Literally, right? The tour gives extra credit from points, but regardless of any tour points, that's kind of your legacy, right? You count majors. If you're going to only watch 4 or 5 events a year, right? Watch the majors. I've said this consistently on all different media outlets. For me, I care about the events that the players care the most about because you get the best preparation, you get the best quality play, mental focus, you get the best courses, you hope, right? And so put all those things together. These are the events to pay attention to. And so U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship, which we can talk about that in its own right. This is obviously a major that includes tons of women divisions. I think we'll predominantly talk about FPO as we usually do. But out in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and they were facing a heat wave, and I'm sure it was hot there, but I actually kept hearing Terry on the course, Terry Miller, talk about how they were kind of in this pocket near the lake where they were avoiding the oppressive like temps. So they played 2 courses, Roland Ridge for the first 2 rounds, and being a 4-round event. Moved over to Silver Creek for the last 2 rounds. Yeah, and I want to walk through some of my observations and players. I know since there is no spoiler, we literally jumped to the punchline of Eveliina Salonen taking down the win. Matt, so I took a look back at Pop Drop Lock from this past weekend. All right, you ready for this? 30% of people picked Kristen to win.
Yeah,
30%.
that'd be my guess.
Listen to this. Exactly to the same count. 30% picked Silva to win.
Wow, okay.
Like identical picks. That's crazy, first of all. Especially Silva beat Kristen the week before. Like this kind of that.
2 weeks before.
Yeah. So it's kind of that narrative. So that's just interesting. Obviously, we limit max picks on the season, so there can be things that influence that. But I found that interesting. And then 22% is Missy Gannon. So here you go, right? So you got Silva and Kristen, Missy, and then who would you think would be the 4th? It's Holland. Holland only got 7 picks. I think to some extent, again, maybe the fact we limit you to 5 picks a year could influence that as well. But we only had about 3% pick Eveliina, which I think I understand. We haven't seen a lot of her recently. But then, Matt, this is a major. And did you know all of last year and this year to this point, year to date, Eveliina's played in 6 major events, and she's won half of them. So, certainly not the same as the Isaac Robinson, narrative, but I wonder if there's like an interesting thing. It's like, hey, when a major comes around, at least in the last, I'm going to say 2 years, Eveliina kind of stepping up her game. And Matt, I'm just jumping all over the place, but I want to mention this. Eveliina, 50% in the last 6 majors, last year and this year to date. Kristen Latt, 0 for 6. So we can talk about some of that. And I want to go through some other players because this leaderboard just really did not probably fall the way most of our other Elite Series events have fallen this season. But congrats to Eveliina. Matt, you think there's anything to the fact that she's won half of the majors in the last out of the last 6? She figured something out. I mean, she's always been good. That's never been a question. But like, Is she approaching these majors differently?
I feel like for Eveliina, something clicked. What was it? Olympus, not Olympus. The Supreme Flight Open.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there was a change for her there where she came into the season. Maybe it was last year too. I always said if she can figure out her putt, and I know she really hasn't quite figured it out, but she's better than she was with like the full yips. Now it's just kind of like a putt will hit and fall out kind of a thing, not just like airballing it. That's a whole nother talk with Henna. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is something changed where I don't think she feels the pressure. I think she has a mentality, and she actually said this right in her interview. She watched the Preserve, and this was when she was traveling from Europe to the U.S., and she thought to herself, can I even compete or win anymore? These women are so good. And I think with that, I was reading into that. She has this like, not the pressure of I have to win, but the I'm going to try to win. And I feel like it's a little bit different than coming from it's a different perspective. When you, I don't know how else to say it. Like, I'll just say it from my son's perspective. One of my sons, Hunter, and he's not here to say it for himself. He's 15 now. But when he was younger, he would win all the time. As a good, great junior player, win. And then there was a period of time where the field starts getting much deeper because of your competition. And he started, I don't want to use the word losing, meaning you didn't get the win, but you start not winning and your perspective shifts. So now all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm happy with this, happy with that, like all these things. And eventually it kind of gets easier because you're like, the sky's the limit. I don't have to have that pressure of I have to win. And I think her saying that she didn't know if she would be able to get a win kind of just put this perspective to me that maybe she's just like, there's not that pressure of it's me and Kristen and Paige Pierce or whoever it was, at the time. And I think maybe she does have a shift change. So maybe that's all I'm going to say. I think there's a shift change.
Yeah, I feel like just in general, so I mean, you kind of, I'm reinforcing what you said in many ways, but we see this both in FPO and MPO. We talk about these players who kind of, it's obviously all about experience, but you get these wins and you kind of like break through. Now, what's interesting about Eveliina, she's had wins on the tour before, but then there was kind of an up and down. And then we've seen these putting challenges. And like you said, I think, Matt, you said Supreme Flight, but I think it was probably chess.com if it's back 2 years ago when she got that win. Yeah. And like, yeah, I agree. There's something. And I don't want to like put it as simple as this because like it's clearly not as simple as this. But there was almost like relief. Like, remember even we interviewed her, like how happy she is. And by the way, she's obviously like a fierce competitor. She's focused. Like, it's not only about the happiness, but I'm using that as one example of saying there's kind of a relief. And she seems to be playing that way. And even though I'm sure she's feeling the stress of the putting challenges and some things, it just seems like you play lighter because it's like, yeah, I'm the reigning world champ. Like, right? It's just, there's something different about that. And we've seen that happen to other players too. So, yeah, it just seems like she's on a tear. And so I don't like, it's kind of a weird question. I mean, you can answer this if you want, but so is she your favorite heading into, Worlds this year and the European Disc Golf Festival? I mean, like obviously Kristen and Silva are right on the top of that heap along with Holland and maybe Missy. But like,
my answer is the same as always. My answer is the same as always with her. And it will be this for a long time. If her putting is figured out. Now,
yeah.
Because it's too much of the picks. So first of all, someone asked, I think Ayla Rue asked, where are these picks? Well, if you've just now joining the show or you're new to the show, check out popdroplock.com. You can find all the rules there. You can see how you could win a round with Simon Lizotte at Maple Hill. A lot of things, weekly prizes, hooligan. But you can see, Josh, not a lot of people picked her. And that's because it's a risky pick. It's a gamble. It's not that anyone thinks that she can't do it. It's like you're playing your odds and you say, I want to say as I processed it, because I had picked Kristen to win, it's a surprise to everybody, I'm sure, but I had picked her saying odds on favorite. You got to believe that we're coming into a major. Kristen's the most consistent player. You have 4 rounds. It's very likely all these things come to be, right? And later on, I'm going, yeah, but are we so short-sighted that we forgot about how great Eveliina had been playing, even coming into this year, and she hasn't been playing recently that we saw here. So it's like we almost forget like, oh, it's a real viable option. But I'll be honest. Again, I looked at her and I was like, maybe, but it's too big of a gamble, and I didn't want to take those chances. So I'll still say it's too big of a gamble to say all in on Eveliina for sure.
Yeah, So I mean, I understand the sentiment. I mean, Matt, at this event alone, this is interesting. So first of all, if you look at the gained stat, which is relative to the entire field, right? Gained or lost strokes in any particular statistical category. Unbelievable. Eveliina gains on the tee to green. So basically, this is right her driving ability. Obviously, par fives slightly different, but more or less driving ability on the field. She gained 36 strokes. Second place, which was Cadence, gained 18. Haley King, who was right there, second place, gained 27. So, I mean, like, she's gaining 3 or 6, well, what's the math, right? Eight strokes approximately, like, on the next closest competitor on driving. And what's interesting is, Matt, you're right, she gives up strokes on putting. But if you're going to gain 36, then it's like drive for dough, don't worry about putting. It's the saying, right? Now, she has to putt good enough. And, Matt, if you watch the last round, Eveliina down the stretch, there's putts she had to make because they were neck and neck. I forget the exact hole. I could look at it again. Like hole 14, maybe they're tied, right? 15, 16, back and forth. And Eveliina, whatever term you want to use, we've debated this on the show before, but she clutches up and hits them. And they weren't drop-ins and they weren't gimmies, especially with the challenges. She's probably somewhere in the 25-foot range. I'm just guessing from memory. But she hits them and the putt looks confident. And I think she had 2 or 3 of those in the last 4 holes. And Haley was right there as well. Obviously, we can talk about how the way the last hole went down. Interestingly enough, Haley basically loses it on driving, and Eveliina crushes the drive. So yeah, Matt, it's just interesting. You're right, but she also doesn't have to be an incredible putter if she's going to throw like that. It's an interesting formula because I think if you want to truly be the best in the game, you've got to be more well-rounded. And I think that's why it's a talking point. It's definitely a talking point. The next person that lost strokes putting is Henna. No surprise. And then you don't go all the way down to 12th place before you get to somebody else who lost strokes on the field. So most of the field is putting good enough to beat the field average, right? But again, if you're going to throw that much better, well, not like a little bit better, but insanely better.
And
it's an interesting formula.
Stat. This was a rough stat, but they did it on DGN. Second, and they used the word worst. Second worst putting in the division, FPO, Henna. So behind the scenes, because we play pop, drop, lock a lot, Ben and I have a multi-year bet going on where if Henna wins a tour event, this was last year, it was just a simple $20 bet. I said, she won't get the win. Just playing, I don't know if it's the odds or not, but I think the odds are in my favor. To get a win on tour is extremely hard, but Ben felt confident, took the bet. So last year I would have taken the 20, but I said, Ben, let's move it up. We'll double it. You don't even have to pay me the 20, Ben. Let's go to 40. And with the $40 bet, now same thing. If she wins, I pay you 40. He's like, of course I'll take that bet because I don't even have to pay you anything. It's just another $20 bet in Ben's eyes. But we get to the place where she's coming into the last round in the lead. I asked Ben, do you want to take a $60 bet on that she doesn't win? So if she wins, Ben gets $60. If she doesn't, I get $60. And he couldn't take it because you don't have faith in Henna. You think she's an amazing player. I've said this before. I've filmed her catch cam out at Las Vegas Challenge, and she throws amazing. She's throwing it past where you think she would go. And just a great player, very skilled. I think she just got married too. Is that right, Josh? Do we know that?
Yeah, we know that. I don't know the details. But yes, congrats to her. Obviously, those are awesome,
I was curious.
Life changes.
Yeah, so I was curious because she comes out swinging. And I'm like, maybe this is a mental shift. Josh, you and I had conversations about this. Players on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, you can see when their life shifts. And it's true for anything in life, careers or whatever. But when life shifts, their skills or their outcomes tend to be different. And I will just give a few, and I don't know enough to say why, but a Kevin Jones, right? Significant shift. There was a period of time with Paige Pierce prior to the injury. Everyone might remember, maybe not, like time off from the tour in Hawaii, trying to figure, she's come on the show and talked about trying to just kind of figure out life. And I'm oversimplifying, but like significant shift from that point. I kind of mentioned, and maybe I'm not right, but with Eveliina, the mindset, maybe there's a shift change there where it's less pressure of like, this is a tough tour. Like whatever I do is good. And that's a different mindset. And I was thinking maybe for Henna, that would have been the case too. I could go on and on. I'm thinking Kona Montgomery. I'm kind of staying in the FPO, right? There's all these different ones where you can watch life shifts, then their outcomes are different on the course. And everyone goes, it's probably very obvious. But the best players in the world are trying to figure it out. If we take it to MPO, Paul Macbeth, you can say injury, but you can also say, first son or first child, right? And you can just keep going and going. So it's interesting. Always be on the lookout for that. And I think it just makes sense. But that's something I noticed. And it looks like Ben joined us. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can bring him in here. Boop. Ben, can we hear you?
Does this work?
It seems to work.
Shout out Matt
It's a little
Schlabach.
echoey, but
Gannon took my podcasting equipment and ran with it. So he did a little pivot, and I'm on his cool little thing. Matt, right here. Shout out Tiny Disc Golf. You want to say anything, Matt?
Hey guys, Matt here.
Yeah, it is Matt here. So I think when we talk, we're hearing a slight echo of ourselves, but let me see what I can do about that. Are you on your normal link?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It's because it's playing out of the computer speaker. I could put on headphones if need be.
If you could maybe, if it's possible to turn it down a little more, possibly. I'm trying to throw on echo cancellation is on. I'm going to try something else.
And hopefully throughout the day, we'll get a bunch of interviews with pros at Schlabach's.
Okay.
In this room.
Yeah, so you turned it down.
Well,
it's still doing what it's doing a little bit. It's not horrible, but it's there.
I'll turn it down one more.
If you can hear us, like we'll have to just scream. You can just hear me. You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's fine. When I talk quiet, obviously I'll hear myself, but I can work with
it.
That
Just
later.
kind of seems like it kind of seems like someone's holding you hostage, probably. Like it just seems kind of like I'm not trusting anything you're saying. I feel like it's all forced. Like somebody's off screen holding signs up telling you what to say. That's what it feels like.
The new setup.
Are you using the mic on your shirt?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, he is, yeah.
So what I'm thinking is try not to use that. Try to go internal mic, and I can see and suggest it on your side too. Go with the MacBook Pro microphone.
Okay. Yeah, I can change that.
See if you can change that and give that a try. I'm thinking the echo cancellation might work better. And sorry for listeners who are like, what is this?
Last minute.
Check.
Gannon's finally here. And where do I stop? What about
Gannon's
now?
there. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, this is working fine.
Okay, it sounds good.
It's totally fine.
Okay. We're good.
Okay, cool. I think the computer was trying to do echo cancellation and it was just too far from, anyways, it's fine. So Perfect. This is good.
All right. Well, while it's good, so let me bring it back. Are we good to bring it back? U.S. Women's. And so, yeah, Ben, we'll talk to people you've got around and all that. But unless we've got, now obviously interrupt if we literally have somebody in a green room or whatever. But so Eveliina with the win. Awesome play. We talked about the way she got it done. Gaining strokes tee to green. Cadence Burge. We interviewed her, I forget how long ago now, but she's having a great year. And like, what do you think? Is she still on the rise? Like, is she still somebody who's like young and figuring it out? And here she is popping off in a second place finish, or is this her peak? Like,
not her peak. She's so young.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's interesting. It's going to be, I mean, second place at U.S. Women's at a major, and I think she had a real chance at winning it. It's not like it was some obscure round. She played pretty steady all the way through. All right, tied for second, we have Haley King. Haley is such an interesting player in our sport right now. What I mean by that is we know her talent and skill, right? Based on history, you can see it on the course. Matt, you talked about, like, you were just going on about life changes. Haley's kind of made a move seems to have had a mental shift, personal relationships, and even the fact of not being or open bag, right? No, like dedicated sponsorship from a manufacturer. And she's literally like, when she's asked what events are you going to play, she's basically like, whichever ones I like, and if my schedule's open. It's like, it's just like her whole mindset. And that's what when I say interesting, because she's really good. She almost goes out and wins this event, notwithstanding really some putting challenges, which is usually not her big problem. So really interesting to kind of watch Hailey King as I'm going to put quotes around this kind of on purpose, but as she pursues this career. Because I don't know if it's a Hailey King career or not. But anyway, really good at disc golf.
I'm glad you said that about Hailey, because I was looking at some tech stuff here, and then I'm like, who's he talking about? And I'm thinking, ooh, a good topic is Hailey, because of opposite of what I was saying. And I had to come back onto it because I feel like she was a life change kind of person. Again, this is just speculation, but she kind of is forward to some of that. Like, hey, things going on, life stuff. We've interviewed her, and then moves down to Charlotte, away from her home of Wisconsin, if you will. And yeah, not seeing much, to your point. I don't need to elaborate on that, but then coming out and actually being like, hey guys, not Matt here, but hey guys, Hailey here. And man, if she had won it, I was ready for my takes tonight to be something along the lines of like, is that enough? Is winning like an event like that enough to just be like, I am how do I put it? I'm relevant, is just one event a year enough to say I'm relevant in the FPO? I kind of think you'd have to argue it, especially because it would be a major.
Yeah. It
was close.
That's why all I said is like an interesting player in our sport right now, because we see the talent, but just her approach to the game. And hey, like what are you going to say when somebody says, I want to play the events I want to play? And if my schedule's open and you're not obligated to any contract to do anything different than that, then like more power to you. Right? Like, I mean, it's not the way we see most of the players approaching the game, but like, what's the right way to approach it? To come out and win, right? Which she didn't do this week, but she was right there and had a legit chance at that. I want to go through just a few more names. We don't normally run down the leaderboard, but I think it's interesting here. Holland Handley was basically a non-story this week, but finished in fourth place, right? Which is good for her. Valerie Mondahano. She's had a weird year, but then 3 top 10s in the last 3 events. Sorry if I'm blending the years, but I feel like 2 years ago, people were talking like Valerie might be the next like top of the game. And then kind of faded, had the ankle injury, and I just don't know if we've ever seen full redemption. But anyway, congrats to Valerie and finishing in 5th place at a major and only 4 shots off of the win. So it'd be interesting to see. It's not like it's just one random, pop off that's kind of outside of expectations. We already talked about Kristen Lett a little bit, but what we just talked about where she finished, but I don't know where I place this. It's interesting because we're in sports talk media. I think it's plenty acceptable to just have like semi off events. Like, I think that's like no problem. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. Yet I'm still going to ask the question and say, is anything wrong? Because here's what I'm going at. When I say wrong, I think we heard some of the talk around. She obviously has the toe. She was public about that. It seems like maybe some lingering sickness in one of the, maybe post round 2, I forget, but she just looked beat. She just looked tired and frustrated, which I'm sure she was, right? But then it was like, what are you, I forget, there was some comment she made. She's like, it was just very blunt. It's like, yeah, I'm just tired. Like, just kind of like, it felt like, now I'm putting my words in, it felt like kind of like, I'm sick of this. Like, I just need a break. And I'm thinking, you were just in Europe and you came back for the preserve and now we have U.S. women's. Like, is there just some grind? And then her social media post kind of talks about just working through and figuring all this stuff out. So when I say something wrong, I don't mean anything serious, but I just mean like, she's in a funk. That's what it seems like. And by the way, she still finished 6th place. So like, right. But she hasn't won a major in 2 years. And Eveliina Salinen's won half of them.
In 2 years? Like an actual calendar?
Well, no. In 24 and 25.
Okay. Yeah.
So
but
not
still,
in 2 years.
But still. Ben wants to take a bet on if Kristen wins a major this year, wouldn't you?
Yes. Can we? I'll take that bet.
You want to bet that she will win a major, so she'll win Worlds? Are we? But we're not calling Throw Peak a major, are we?
No, you can't.
You can't. So
I mean, I know the
Worlds,
debate, but you can't.
or that's it, right? Or European Open. So she's gonna win one of those.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Kristen's last major that she won was the European Open last July.
I'll take those odds.
So I must have missed some stat too in the way I looked at that earlier. But
yeah, I'm not sure what I think about that take or even that bet possibly. So
I'm also double checking my stats because I may have misspoke one thing on there, but either way, in general.
So Ben lined up Rebecca for the show, and so we do have her in the green. Can you hear us in the green room, Rebecca? Okay, awesome. And we can hear you, but not our guest yet. We'll bring you in just a second. It's good to hear that it's working well. So we'll kind of move on from that, Ben. I don't know if I'm taking that bet or not. It's interesting one to take because I feel like it would be a bet that would be the best time for me to make it would be now because of Kristen coming out of it's unusual. And I think, Josh, it is a storyline we should bring up a little bit more later. This is a very interesting season. I don't know if it's the most diverse FPO win. I'm sure Evan will send me a text tomorrow or the next day from Statmando, but maybe diverse in a different way. Maybe not the most unique winners, but most diverse, evenly distributed, right? So we almost have the opportunity for everybody to have 3 wins. That'd be Missy, Holland, Kristen, Eveliina. Missy, Holland, Kristen, Eveliina, and Ella is another winner. So it just feels evenly distributed, maybe a little bit different than dominant years of past. And not just like who knows who's going to win, like every week it's somebody else. But having said all of that, I think we should go ahead and bring into the show because we do have her here. Ben lined her up. Let's get her in. We're going to welcome to the show. If I did it right, I did not do it right. So we're going to do this. It's going to be Ben, Matt, guest, Josh, boom, like that. Welcome to the show, Rebecca. We're glad you're able to join us. I don't know when Ben reached out to you, but we're happy to have you on the show. You've been having some really great, we think, great performances. We love your reaction to it, and we're happy to find out more about you. So to our audience, Rebecca's here. Rebecca, how are you doing? Fantastic. They're going to say, hey, we couldn't hear her, but that's my bad, not your bad. So we're glad to have you. I did a quick peruse through your social media because I don't follow every disc golfer under the sun. And it looks like in January you announced, maybe it's not new, but you're playing for Team Innova. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, I am.
And how long have you been on the team?
I joined, this will be my second year with them. So last year I was on their junior team. I think I started in, the middle of the season.
Okay. It's often a weird place for me to ask a female competitor her age, but you're on the junior team, and 2 years ago, when did you come onto the team?
They asked me to join the junior team in beginning of 2024, and then I was on the junior team until I took cash after Junior Worlds, and then I was moved up to the sponsored player, and that's where I am now.
Well, how old were you at Junior Worlds or 2024?
16.
Okay, so in 16 and under is when you played Worlds, and then immediately kind of after that you took cash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted the experience of Junior Worlds, and then after that I was kind of excited to just go into FPO and just get more experience.
So let's ask this question. How long then have you been playing disc golf? If your Junior Worlds, that was your first experience, how long had you played before that?
I think this is my 5th year playing. So I learned how to play in 2020 or 2021, and then this is my 4th season competing. So yeah.
Okay, awesome.
About 5 years. Yes.
So your performances lately, do you have off the top of your head, do you kind of track that? Like, hey, I got a top 10 here, like, what were your best performances this year? Obviously, recently we've been watching a little closer because the storyline is building for you. But how's your season been going?
So yeah, I think, last week I got tied for 8th at the Preserve, which is so far my best finish. And then just this past weekend, I got 18th at US Women's, which was super exciting for the major. And then, I got 16th at the Northwest Disc Golf Championships in Oregon. And then before that, I got 22nd at the Open at Austin. And then a few before that, but those are my best finishes so far. Yeah,
absolutely. It looks like in the last 3 events, the Northwest Disc Golf Championship, the Preserve, and now US Women's, we do a lot of average finish tracking here for all different players on tour. It looks like you've adjusted it by at least 8 to 10 spots in the last 3 weeks compared to your first 3 events of the season. So
yes.
What has changed for you? Do you feel like a different comfortability maybe with the tour? Like, what do you think? Is there a different thing that's clicking for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy because the first 2 events I was just like 1 stroke behind Cash, 2 strokes behind Cash, and then ever since Open at Austin, when I got on Chace card in the 3rd round and just like had a pretty good finish, I've just kind of improved each tournament, and I'm not exactly sure how or why, but something's just clicking. And I mean, it's super exciting because I think I feel more comfortable on the course. I feel like the consistency of being on tour for like 3 weeks in a row has also helped. But yeah, everything's just clicking lately, which is, I mean, it feels great.
All right. Looking a little bit deeper, and you don't have to look that deep to know you are from Canada. Looks like Ontario. I'm assuming you've lived in Ontario your whole life. Is that true?
Yes. It is.
Okay. And what is that like, traveling from Canada down to these events back and forth? Are you doing it by plane or driving, or what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy because I'm still only 17. So normally it's been really helpful because my family always goes on vacation to Florida or something every winter. So this year we were able to coordinate our vacation time with the Florida Open and Open at Austin and Waco. And then, I've been flying everywhere just because that's the easiest way. I don't have my full license yet, so I can't drive, but working on that. But yeah, it's a lot of just flying everywhere. This past stretch of like the Preserve and US Women's, I've just been staying with friends each week, kind of hopping back and forth. And then, that's basically how it's been going so far.
I was just going to ask that follow-up. So if you're not traveling with are you always traveling with your family or no?
Not always.
Okay. So You'll show up at events, and can you give us a little bit of who those tour friends are? Like, just so we can kind of see that circle. Not that it matters, but it's just kind of interesting sometimes.
Yeah. So for Portland, Oregon, I flew down and a big group of us stayed at Cole's house, Cole Redalen's house. And then for this stretch, I camped at the Preserve next to Trinity Bryant. We both had our tents next to each other. And then just this past week, I was staying in an Airbnb with some other juniors that were playing US Women's, the Cohuts and Addison Woodard. So I've just kind of been hopping back and forth. And then this week, I'll be camping at the course too, next to the Middlings. So just hopping with different people.
Was there at the Preserve? Was there ever like a neighboring RV that was stuck in the mud for 3 days?
Yeah, there were a few of them. Yeah, I think one guy's name was Ben Kenny's. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know him.
No, I don't. We don't know. It doesn't sound like something that would happen.
I was literally stuck in front of her campsite for 3 days.
Yeah, that was really funny.
He rolls the window down. Oh, there's Rebecca. So that group of individuals that you mentioned are all amazing people. I actually know them fairly well, and I think that's really cool that you get to be touring and hanging out with those individuals for sure. I wanted to share one other, not similarity, but two of my 4 sons are on Team Innova's junior team right now. So we have that in common as well. And so
Okay.
one of them won a Junior Worlds, and it sounds like you are representing Team Innova. Are they keeping you on the junior team with all these great Pro Tour performances? Have they started talking to you? Are you interested in trying to get something else or what?
Yeah, so I was on the junior team till I accepted cash because
Okay.
you can't accept cash while you're on the junior team. So I was moved up to a sponsored player, and I'm still on the sponsored player right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I would love to see something bigger for next season. If I'm gonna tour full time, I think that would be really cool.
Absolutely. All right, cool. That's all my like noob questions, like just trying to figure out a little bit about you, more so
Yeah.
also for our audience. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, so great. Rebecca, thank you for coming on. Nice to meet you. What's your, have you played other sports through school? Like, do you have other background, or like, again, you've been playing for quite a few years here. Like, is this the sport
Yeah.
you've locked in on, or do you have any other stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've grown up playing a lot of sports, especially in school. So I played soccer for a while. In school, I do track and field, volleyball, basketball. But yeah, I think lately, like this past winter, I play volleyball at school. But it might be kind of moving on to disc golf if I'm going to go on the Pro Tour. So that's looking like I'll be just switching to disc golf now. But yeah, I love sports in general. So yeah, it's exciting.
Awesome. Yeah. So 2025, yeah, this is kind of seems like you're hitting the tour, if we want to call it that. What, like, maybe it's too hard to say for sure, but I'm going to ask you anyway, so you can answer this however you want, is like, what are you wanting to make of this? Like, are you thinking of this, like as a 17-year-old, you're going to transition into this and like make a career and try to be successful at it? Are you still just exploring that opportunity? Like, where's your mind at?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I think I would love to try this as a career for, I think in like the next few years for sure, because yeah, I'm going into grade 12 next year. I'm figuring out classes for that, how to do it on the road. But yeah, I don't see a career like becoming a doctor or a lawyer or teacher or whatever. I don't see that type of career path for me for going to university for. So yeah, I think my plan right now is, I mean, this opportunity is here for me, so I think I would love to go on tour for the next couple of years at least, see how it goes, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah. Do you have, besides the obvious winning an event, do you have any other types of like goals that you're pursuing where you're at kind of in this? I mean, you've had some great performances here. So like, what are you hoping to accomplish?
Yeah. It's been really cool kind of playing these past few events, seeing how I'm kind of improving at each one and seeing what I'm capable of. So I feel like a goal that I have would be coming top 3 at an event, and stacking up some more top 10s. But yeah, I feel like a top 3 would be super, super cool, and would just kind of be amazing to get, I guess.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's probably the goal.
yeah, for sure. I mean, getting on the podium, as we call it, in the top 3, is, I think it's becoming harder and harder in the sport because it continues to
Yes.
grow, right? Which is partly,
Yeah,
of course,
definitely.
what also gives you the opportunity. Yeah, so that's exciting. I think those are some big goals to have. Are you heading over to Europe at all this summer?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, going into the season, I wasn't sure how well I would do, so I wasn't really looking at Europe as my rookie year. But after I was kind of doing well, I checked out the tournaments for fun, but I saw that the wait lists were already pretty high. So it's not looking like it this year, but hopefully next year, I think that would be really cool to go to.
Yeah. Well, if you choose to make a career out of it, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to get over there as the
Yes.
sport is kind of going more and more global.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. I was going to ask something else and I don't remember what it is. So Ben, Matt, I don't know.
Yeah, Rebecca, I haven't seen your game enough,
Ooh, I
the
know.
privilege to, or to play with you or anything else. What would you say is your favorite part of the game, as in like I guess, skill wise? It just comes more natural and fun for you. It's your favorite part of the game.
I would say putting. I love putting when it's on. When I feel good, I love putting. Yeah, that's probably one of the strongest parts of my game. And then next to that would probably be distance. Like, I don't throw like crazy far, but I feel like just where I can throw a bit of Anheuser, just get the full flight. I really love doing that too. Like 350, 380 range.
Josh, you've never thrown that far in your life.
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe accidentally once. I think accidentally down a hill I threw 380, maybe 350. But I still love the sport and love interviewing people like you, Rebecca. I remember what I was going to ask. Is like Rookie of the Year like something that's on your mind? Is that something you would pay attention to? And I presume you're eligible for it, given you're really just now hitting the tour.
Yeah, I've been kind of looking at that. I don't exactly know how like PDGA Rookie of the Year works and how Pro Tour Rookie of the Year works. I'm figuring that stuff out, but I think that would be really cool to get. So I'm definitely looking into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess regardless, if you go out there and do your best at every event, that's the thing you should be doing.
Yeah.
Right. If you end up winning Rookie of the Year, then awesome. But yeah, like you go out there and get some top performances. And I don't know the current status either. I actually just looked to see if Statmando was tracking it, and I don't see it. So maybe we'll look that up for you and message it over if we find it. But just that crossed my mind.
Absolutely. And I will say we play a game on here called Pop, Drop, Lock, but we have to pick players who are on tour with a tour card. You don't have a tour card, so you're able to... Am I accurate with that, or were you able to get an exemption?
I have a partial tour card.
Partial, okay.
So, yeah, silver card.
Okay. We're going to have to figure out for next year in our game how to get people like Rebecca into our game. It's an option for us to pick players who may not always be a winner at the events, but someone who's going to play above their regular average performance. And you've been doing that lately. In our mind, you would have been a great pop pick the last 3 weeks. And that's honestly, Ben's like, we got to get her on. And we said, we're going to get her on. And then here you are. And we're glad to have you. So,
yeah, I mean, Rebecca's at maybe you already said this, averaging better than 20th place this year on Elite Series. Rebecca, that's really good. So again, congrats. Obviously that's really buoyed with the finish at Preserve, right? It kind of really bumps that average up, but hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now that we've had you on here, Matt mentioned we don't follow everybody. I've certainly seen your name on the leaderboard, but again, don't know everybody. But now that you're here, you're going to pick up some fans from our show, and we're going to definitely be watching
awesome.
to see how you perform out there. Are you playing this coming weekend?
Yes, I am. Yep, we just got to the course today.
Awesome. It's a pretty quick turnaround, right? When does the event start? Is it Thursday?
This Friday.
Friday.
So, a few days to practice.
Awesome. This has been really a privilege to have you on and talk through things. Is there anything you want to anyone you want to shout out, or anything you'd like to talk about before you go?
I mean, I guess like Innova for helping me out. Pound, they're my bag sponsor. And then my parents and family for kind of making this possible, sending me out with my friends, trusting me with this. And yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. I'm living the dream and I love it out here. So yeah, it's super fun, super exciting. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. We're proud to have
thank you.
On.
Yeah. Thanks for Ben hooking us up. Ben, do you have anything, Rebecca, before we let her go?
Keep crushing it.
Keep crushing it.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you another time, and we're going to keep rooting for you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Rebecca.
Bye.
Ben, thanks for bringing Rebecca on. I didn't know much about her, and now I do.
Dude, I just know that she's been climbing the ranks and been finishing really well, like unexpected, like as in a good thing, like
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh wow, she's kind of like up there with the big dogs, and she just like started on tour, it seems. So
Yeah, she did literally just this year, and it's only June. So like
Yeah,
she's barely on tour, and she's 17 years old, right? And we age is not always a factor, but we know when you're young, you're still figuring a lot of things out, and we talk about that for other players, right? So I think, yeah, I mean, averaging top 20 in FPO at this point is notable. That's certainly worth it. So, Before we interview anybody else on the screen, which you can be there, maybe if Ben or Gannon have any points here, I wanted to, just before we move on off of the U.S. women's leaderboard, definitely some differences, but like, what about Emily Weatherman? Matt, like Emily has been somewhat vocal about, I'm going to call it injuries, right? But really just kind of like body issues, pains, different things not being adjusted right. She's really had a tough year. She's averaging 22nd. Hey, audio listeners, if you're audio only, you can go out to YouTube, go to the 51-minute mark, and just like it's like,
Josh,
I still
you
think
can
it's like
keep
a
going.
hostage
I'm just
room.
going to keep them up.
I still think it's like a hostage room. Like Ben and Gannon are just like in this corner.
It's Schlabach's new house.
And
He
we've
doesn't
been
have-
tagged. We've been tagged by Ezra Robinson, who's walking by the window. Josh, you have to look this up just now. He walked by. He did a little video of Ben through the window, and he's like, "Guys, I found him." And then he tags us. This is all live. It's interesting.
That's what I'm saying. It's interesting. But yeah, so
it's because Gannon here, like I gave him my podcast going to take a Schlabach, and
Hold up. No.
He wasn't
That is not what happened.
He was not at Schlabach for 20 minutes. So I'm just shout out Matt. ItalianDiscgolf.com. He set me up so I could come on because Gannon was nowhere to be
Bro,
found.
if you took your RV to Schlabach, why did you put your stuff in my car?
Because I put my stuff in your car already, and then my wife was like, "Yeah, I'll come." So then I was like, "Okay, then we'll take the RV." And I thought you were going straight there because you left before me. I was thinking like I was getting a perfect
Sorry.
UPS delivery.
It sounds like there's something dramatic going on.
Let me finish the Weatherman, and then we can grill those guys in the whatever room it is. But so Emily's averaging 22nd this year.
After interview.
She's won an Elite Series before, but she's had a really tough year, and then pops off and finishes 6th place. Like, I don't know, just kind of making sure we're not missing that. And then Silva Saarinen, the only other player to get the same amount of picks as Kristen this past weekend, also just really not good enough. Not terrible, but not good enough. So interesting leaderboard. I think going into it, we probably were not necessarily like expecting to see like some of them, no surprise, right? But Eveliina Salonen, no surprise, but Licky is out there, who by the way is playing pregnant now.
Yes, congratulations.
So,
Licky.
Not Licky.
Licky.
She's been on here before and said Lucky.
Yeah.
We can call her Lucky.
Talking about life change, didn't she just announce? Is that what you said?
I just said congrats on her pregnancy.
So I mean, like we were. I'm just tying it in because that was talking about life change. Is that going to be like a Macy Valadiaz type thing where she's like, it's so inspiring?
Or Katrina Allen.
I can live my life happy now and like play well. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But just like kind of totally different leaderboard. Cadence Burr, Jim Lee Weatherman, again, Haley King, not out of nowhere, but just like it. And what you were not seeing is Missy, Paige Pierce, Kristen, at least not till the end, Silva Saarinen, Holland Handley. These people were not like these people. These women were not the ones pushing for the win. It just felt different and really interesting. Let's talk about the difference in the courses. Roland Ridge versus Silver Creek. Again, I'm not sure if you've ever played these, but I actually heard a lot of the women, interestingly enough, like, I feel like Kristen, I'm picking on Kristen, it wasn't only. Kristen basically, these are too strong words. She hated Roland Ridge, too much luck, too wooded, whatever. And then you have somebody like Haley's who's like, I wish all 4 rounds were at this course. So is this just like a personal preference? Like when we go from heavily wooded, park style, little bit of legacy, old style courses versus a little bit more open, challenging, drawn out, long. Is it just personal preference? Like, and that's why we have the players making those comments? Or is there something to it? Like, does our sport need to like move on from courses like Roland Ridge? And I'm asking Gannon because you play, but like Ben, Matt.
So the Rolling Ridge was super tight wooded.
Yep, super tight wooded, almost like old park style. It's probably like 20-year-old course. I mean, I think it's nice and immaculate. It's not a bad course.
I feel like people for some reason like to have. I see it all the time. Like to have that opinion on a course like that. Obviously, I don't know anything about the course, so I don't have an opinion on it. But I have heard people, whenever there's a course that's either way too hard or really fluky, people want to be on the side of like, oh no, it's a great course, we should play it, it challenges, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like they say that just to seem like, you know, they enjoy playing the hard courses, or they know they're going to play good there, or I don't even know. So,
but as a heavily wooded course, obviously, if we're talking about bad design, got it. So let's not talk about bad design for a minute. But if it's just like heavily wooded and there's like, if you're off just a little bit, now your line is like, you know, it's not great. But then you see, and I know you didn't probably see it all, but Henna Blomroos, like all the way through the woods on hole 10, like parks it, right? And got the only birdie, I think, in round 1 on that hole. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know how I think about the word like fluky or not.
There's also a point though where I feel like it becomes fluky when a hole or a course is too tight or too hard, because, you know, disc golf is like, we're throwing 300 feet down a gap, and if you get even half a mile per hour wind hit your disc, that can probably affect it a couple feet, you know, 400 feet down the fairway, just that little amount of wind. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like in sports in general, you got to have, what are you talking about, bro?
No, I'm just like, this is the worst shot of all
I
time.
thought you were laughing at me. No, but like, I feel like at some certain point, too hard becomes fluky, because it's like, I guess when I'm playing good sometimes, it almost feels like it's just up to if I threw the disc good that shot. And like, I walk into super tight wooded holes and I'm kind of just throwing and hoping, hopefully one of these shots, or this shot, is the good shot that gets through, or I actually hit the line this time. So I feel like at some point a hole gets way too tight, and then it's almost like, well, a perfect shot. I don't know. I just don't like disc golf that's rewarded by absolute perfect 1 in a million shots. I hate disc golf that's like that. I feel like you should get rewarded for consistency over the course of a round. You shouldn't have to throw crazy superhero shots, which is, it kind of sounds like what this course is looking like is, you know, I think I know what you're talking about, but it looked like you had to throw this crazy 1 in a million type shot to get a birdie. In my opinion, that's not a good hole.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm inclined to listen to the pros. So like, again, like your comments like would influence me as well as other pros who have that opinion. But my like raw opinion, not being on tour, not being able to play at that level, is kind of like, unless it's really poorly designed, then it's just like the challenge is to do that. That is the challenge. The challenge is to throw it down that skinny lane and worry about if there's wind coming across the fairway 200 feet down. And some people aren't going to do it and some aren't, which means if you're 1 inch different, you might kick off into the woods and someone else doesn't. I'm not totally like settled on it, but I'm kind of like, where is there not a place for that? Like that's part of the sport of disc golf, right?
I feel like there's so much variability in our game, you know, just like a lot of other games that are played outside, but disc golf in particular, like wind, trees, ground play is not consistent a lot of the times. So it's all these little things that's why I'm trying to say is like, you have to make a hole, you know, I guess not too hard, or, you know, that type of stuff can kind of just like, I don't know, skew the scores a little bit where you don't get the same result for throwing the same shot as somebody. And that's where you have to, I feel like, I don't know, make the fairway a bit wider.
So
that's my take on it.
I will bring up, because I'm inclined to hear what Gannon's saying here and agree from a bigger point of disc golf, not just like, hey, was that tournament good or not, but like W.R. Jackson. Remember how crazy that was to watch those not the U.S. Champions Cups? There was a good amount of people shredding, but I think it's because of the consistent play that course allows. It's still in the wood. It is still in the woods. And it may not be super difficult, right? I mean, like from a perspective of like really hard or not, because of, I don't know if we want to call it flukiness, but something like W.R. Jackson, I kind of feel like I would like to see that more places. We like to see people executing at a high level. That kind of takes the conversation. It's a little different. I don't know if I want to go here, but like the preserve allows all these scores to compress to a very high level because everyone can kind of execute without, quote, the flukiness. There is some level of enjoyment to that from a viewer's perspective as well. I don't know. Gannon, when you come out and you play Maple Hill, and I heard this from Cole, I don't remember fully if I heard this from you, but you can speak on it, and others too, felt like Maple Hill might be a little too, quote, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but like fluky. There is some superhero type stuff that you have to do there. And so I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but I think you could open courses and make them a little bit more consistent.
Well, yeah, I saw a good comparison, and not to say that this is exactly what disc golf is, but, you know, some sports are a sport of perfection. Like bowling, 300 is perfection, and people do it, but that's the standard. They haven't made bowling harder. Same with darts. They've gotten so good at darts. Like, there's certain sports that do just require perfection, and that's not a bad thing in my opinion. So I don't know. I feel like it's. I just would like to see. I feel like the wooded courses should be the ones that should be shreddable. That should have pretty wide fairways in the woods, but you know you can still shoot at 10, 11, 12 under par. And I think the open courses should be the ones that are extremely difficult because you have so much airspace to allow a crazy shot shape. And there's just like, you know, there's been times where I've missed my line, but I also, let's say I missed my line left, but I also missed my angle and I throw on more and higher than I wanted to. So I got the same result because I missed left, but more turn. So it still ended up in the same spot. So I think, you know, open courses allows for stuff like that, which is why, I mean, there's a lot of really good open courses out there where players are only shooting, you know, 5, 6, 7 under as a hot round. So I would like to see more of that in my opinion. And then the wooded courses, the ones that are, you know, obviously no OB, but, you know, if you hit your lines, you're going to get birdies.
How come people are so bothered, Gannon, when you shoot so well and win by so much?
I mean, I feel like, I don't know. Obviously, people want to see competition. Like when I'm watching basketball, I'm done watching if a team goes up 25 points.
Pacers, Thunder.
Dude, rest in peace, Halliburton.
But nobody's saying, like, to your point, I'm taking your point now. Nobody's saying let's make basketball harder because a team is able to destroy another team by 50.
Yeah, like I don't know, like, yeah, no one's like, oh, we need to somehow make it so it's tighter. Like, that's just how sports work. Like,
right.
If one player or one team has a really on day or on week, that stuff just happens. And it's, you know, it seems like a lot, but it's really just consistent golf. If you play consistent golf and don't make mistakes, like I didn't throw one hero shot at Preserve. I didn't throw one shot that was out of the realm of like, oh, this is super technical or super high level, which I do think the Preserve could definitely add a lot of holes that scare you. But, you know, in general, some people were shooting only 2 under on that course. So it's just kind of depends on how you look at it.
I will say, and I'm glad you said that because I love insight into how you're playing. When I watched that, I thought to myself exactly what you said. No hero golf. He is the most consistent player, and your skill level allows you to do this. But I'm going, how is he throwing every shot, like not hero, but exactly how you had to? Like you were just consistent, Gannon. That level of consistency, I'm sure you want every week. Did it feel different that week?
I mean, you get into a mode where you just feel like you're going to birdie everything. And when I get on, I walk up to a hole and I pretty much already count it in my head. I'm just like, all right, well, I'm, 5 under through 9 holes, but I'm going to get the next 4 no matter what. So, I mean, it's just, that's kind of the mindset.
I think that there's something to, and it's this obvious statement, there's something to a mindset like that. I see it now, you're saying it, but I see it in one of my second son's, Tanner. That's literally his mindset. Okay, fine. I'm just going to go ace the next hole. And he puts it off the band. And I'm like, dude, like, it's just a different kind of mindset that I don't have. I think I have a good mental game, but the mindset of I'm just going to do it. So that's really cool, man. Congratulations on that win. I think I texted the group because Evan from Stat Mando had reached out to us in that round. And he said like, hey, largest win ever, deficit of 12 or whatever for second place. And I was like, all right, guys, let's make bets over under on Gannon doing it. It was going to be a hard task, but you were close, man. And highest rated event of all time. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Cool. Good, Ben.
What?
Wait, fist bump. I thought you were trying to get in Taylor.
Yeah. We're trying to get in Taylor, bro. Can you get Taylor?
Gannon, good luck this week, Gannon, in your home state, bro. Peace. Are you gonna bring in the next felon?
Yeah.
I don't know why it looks. People that are listening in the audio, they just have to at least go and get a little look at what it is. It's.
Hello, go ahead. Here's Taylor.
Oh, Taylor, how are you doing? We've never met before. We're having a little chuckle because of the room. It looks pretty like prison cell-esque, and so like him and Gannon sitting next to each other was pretty funny to us. But so I don't know if we say welcome to the prison cell or welcome to the show. But welcome, Taylor. We've known about you for a while now. Ben put you on our radar a long time ago. D1 athlete is what he always said. So we know a little bit about your background.
That's a joke every time I refer, because I pick you for pop. You don't know anything about show. You do pop, drop, lock. I pick you for pop a lot because I think you're going to pop up from your average.
Okay.
And one time I said D1 athlete, Taylor. And Josh was like, why does everyone always call her D1 athlete?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, because she is.
So we haven't officially introduced
so now,
ourselves.
I was going to say, this is like a horrible start to an interview, but now that we're in, Ben, Taylor, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm like, Taylor's like great at disc golf and she's new to the tour. Let's just learn about Taylor. And we also don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Chocek.
And I'm like, why are we? Okay. But,
is it?
Anyway.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, I got it.
Right,
I got it.
Awesome. Okay. So anyway, this is kind of a funny, rough start, but welcome to the show, Taylor. We'd love to have you. And
wait, can we give her the official welcome music? Here we go.
Yes, we should. We should.
All right, everybody, we're gonna do this officially, starting over with all that weird rigmarole. Taylor, welcome to the show. It's fantastic to have you. How's the tour life going for you this year? Like, what do you think? How does it feel? Rate it, whatever you want to do.
It's been great. I mean, just hobby and interest-wise, like traveling around and getting to see a lot of the country and even like parts of New Zealand and stuff like that has been pretty sweet. And then just working on disc golf each week and getting a little better each day. It's been a lot of fun.
I want to help either clarify or not clarify. You mentioned hobby and like interests. Are you considering disc golf a hobby and this is part of the fun? Or how are you looking at disc golf for yourself?
I mean, yeah, disc golf is a lot of fun, and just like bettering my skills as a disc golfer has been pretty fun. But like I have my mountain bike that I take with me and my goggles. So usually there's something to do with one of those too.
Okay, tell me more about the goggles. You're talking swimming?
I just like to go in the water and look at stuff.
Oh, so
yeah.
The interesting interview, right? So we're going to find out all different things, but I'm interested in people's hobbies. And so that sounds interesting to me. So like rivers and stuff like that, or lakes, or like what kind of water swimming are you doing?
Yeah, anything. Usually it's just a bummer if it's really murky that you can't see anything, which at the preserve we went kayaking down the Mississippi and it was a bit muggy under the water there. Couldn't see too much, but other than that, yeah.
Do they refer to the Mississippi as is it the muddy Missouri or muddy Mississippi? I don't remember. I remember something like that growing up.
That was my first time going in the Mississippi. But I was in the Mississippi earlier this morning and brought the goggles out, and it was a lot clearer this time. Saw some cool like bluegill and was chasing them around swimming.
See, that's fantastic. That is extremely cool. Is that a relaxing thing for you? What's the coolest thing you've seen underwater?
Usually just like fish, sometimes in like some little trout streams. If you get into a little current and like hold on to a big rock underwater, then you'll just have the fish swimming like right next to you.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So that's probably the best.
That's cool. So mountain biking, are you talking like downhill, like, extreme, if you will, or are you talking more just like trail riding?
Yeah, I mean, I like downhill the best, but usually to go downhill you have to ride uphill, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's a good workout.
All right, well, that's two of your hobbies, but let's get back to disc golf now. I'm sure we'll find out about other hobbies, but disc golf, it's fun to watch players come on the tour, and I want to say kind of out of nowhere, so I want to know a little bit about that. How long have you been disc golfing, and what was it that made you decide to come on tour?
Yeah, so I started in college. So I was doing track in college, and have always been into outdoor sports as well. So I was river surfing and rock climbing a bunch, and my coaches were just not into that. And so I had some friends that played disc golf, and I was like, yeah, I'll go do that since I'm not really supposed to be doing the other stuff. and yeah, just liked it right away. Could throw pretty far right away, so that made it fun. And then obviously just having friends that enjoy it as well. And then my coaches are like, yeah, play disc golf as much as you want. Like, as if like the practices weren't enough. I just like to go do a little extra, I guess.
So do you feel like, so we kind of had that, like, no way making fun of D1 athlete. In fact, it was funny. It came up the way it did. Or like D1, everyone kind of was referring to that, like this player coming to the sport. Do you feel like, though, that aside, like people's perspectives of it, you going through a fairly high level of athleticism, bringing that into disc golf, now you're kind of trying to develop and refine those skills. I feel like you must have been asked this question a fair amount of times, but like, how are you seeing at your athleticism translate? Is it easy to you once you kind of see a new technique, you're kind of able to figure out how to implement it? Like where are you at with your development of your game?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, doing so many different sports and events within track, I have a pretty good perception of like proprioception where things are. So especially now coming onto tour and being around really good players and really good throwers, I'm starting to like pick up what it means to like be a good thrower, because I could always throw fast and far, but not that they're good throws. But now playing with more like skilled and more touchy players, I'm starting to pick that up and dial back the speed and just focus on like angles a little more, and it's pretty fun.
You just taught me something, proprioception. I just had to do a little Google word on that. And I'm like, okay. For anyone who else is curious of that, it's perception or awareness of the position and movement of the body, which is much more defined than when I say athleticism. But to me, like that defines like your ability seems to be pretty good and natural with that. Josh is a runner. He does ultra marathons, and so I'm sure he's like, yeah, cool, proprioception. I know where to put my foot on a rock. But Josh, what do you got?
Well, I mean, just nice segue, but like Taylor, like I love outdoors. I'm not usually in the water much swimming, but I live here in New Hampshire, and I don't know if you've been to the Northeast. I know you're obviously the Northwest, but if you come up this way, the mountains are unbelievable. Mountain biking, hiking, and cold rivers and beautiful lakes. So definitely head up to the Northeast. It's my favorite place to do hours on the trails up there. Part
of the season, so I'm looking forward to it. Seeing a lot of new places this year already, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm glad you're getting to have that experience. So kind of balancing this with exploration, right? So you're talking about you're just loving seeing things and exploring it, but also tuning in your disc golf skills. But like, where are you at mentally? Like, what are you wanting to make of this sport? Like, are you figuring that out, or are you saying like, no, I'm all in on disc golf and all these things are just the byproducts, or is this just kind of exploration and seeing what you might make of it?
I mean, I'm pretty all in right now. The hardest part is like trying to learn how to learn the best, I think. So that's what I'm starting to get better at and I've noticed it, as I'm starting to shoot like the highest rounds of my career and stuff. Is just what do I need to focus on and what do I not need to focus on, and what is going to like reap benefits like quickly and what won't. So yeah. And
go ahead.
Learning how to learn courses and know, I'm only getting 2 or 3 rounds on this course, and what do I need to do to like be the best prepared, because every course so far on tour has been a new course for me, even like the Oregon stuff, because like I wasn't doing disc golf before this year really, so right. I haven't watched coverage of stuff. I haven't like done anything.
And yet you come out and finish 7th place at the Northwest Disc Golf Championship. That must have felt good. Is that a big accomplishment?
Mm-hmm. And just still having like a lot out there, even like when I do put a good round together, obviously it's like, it feels like good, better than when I put a pretty poor round together, but it still is pretty far off of where I would like to be at. So yeah, just trying to learn what I need to do.
What's been the easiest skill to learn, and maybe what's been the hardest for you personally?
I mean, just the weather has been like pretty tough for me. If it's really windy or really wet, I have a tough time with that. And then just anhydrous in general have been like a pretty tough shot for me, like coming into it. But the last couple weeks I've been throwing a lot of Anheuser's and they've been feeling really good. So that's nice to feel like I have that shot a little bit now.
Well, if you keep building up all those different skills, that'll make you more rounded with better results. When you talk about things like learning, or I think learning how to learn the course, right? With only a couple rounds and all that, like who are you learning from? Like, is this just you're figuring it out, or you have anybody kind of mentoring you, or like how are you actually going about learning how to tour?
Yeah, so I mean, I've just been trying to play with people that know how to do it. Last year at USCGC, I got a round in with Gannon, and then since then played a bunch with Goose in New Zealand, and then I've been getting a bunch of practice rounds in with Brad and Calvin since maybe since after Nashville. I've been consistently getting rounds in with them, and just who better to pick than those.
I was just about to say there's nothing to not glean from their abilities, and Brad is known for very smooth, controlled form, and always has been incredible. Yeah, and then obviously Gannon and his style, and great opportunities to learn for sure. And
also just at most tour events that I've been at, I've caddied every round after my round, so just trying to get that extra little lap in and watch. I mean, I think I've caddied on lead card and chase card a few times and just gotten to see, the best people at that course at that given time. And then even in Vegas, caddied for Nate Sexton and Calvin. And then last year at D-Glow, I caddied for James Proctor. So seeing all the different styles, all the different thought processes that these, great players are going through, and just trying to soak in as much as I can, really.
That's awesome. So people have talked about you can throw far. Do you feel like that's a skill set and a strength you have that you've been able to figure out? And if so, how far are you throwing the disc confidently?
Yeah, I mean, I can hit over 500 pretty
That'll do, my friends.
Wow, over 500.
Yeah,
that was just a sound effect from our previous stat guy, Evan from Stat.
But not that I need to break that out all that often. I mean, just coming off U.S. Women's, I really only threw drivers a few times, so it's kind of more about being able to disc down to a zone and out throw a lot of my card mates who are throwing drivers a lot of the time. So that's been really shocking to me. I had a kind of realization a couple weeks ago at Preserve. I had thrown a fairway the day before and had gone OB and was I'm just going to go zone and play it safe. And then ended up still out driving my whole card and taking one of two birdies on the hole by going zone, and then Athena after that. So, and I know that hole I've heard a lot of FPO players talk about. It's do you think this should be a par 5? I don't know if anyone's really birdieing it. And then to just because my game plan was to go fairway, but then to see that I can just go zone a lot of the time or buzz and get the distance I need, as long as I can control the angles and stay out of the OP usually.
I feel like for players that can have that distance, and frankly, I'm going to say this in no uncertain terms, if you're throwing at 500 and you feel like you can more or less get to there, that's more than enough distance to compete in the MPO. So the distance there is not a concern at all, it sounds like. And when you can go down to a zone or a buzz and control that, I feel like that is an advantage. So it sounds like you're on the right track.
Thank you.
And that's coming from an amateur player. I've just watched the sport for a long time. I've been here 18 years. So seeing players come in, I go, ooh, they got it. They've got the option. And I feel like that's definitely you. So.
Yeah, and having that option to go zone or raptor and just being able to throw a overstable hyzer is a pretty big advantage a lot of the time. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I do the same. I've learned to do the same thing. It's just cut the distances in half for me, Taylor. I'm an amateur level player, so I'm clubbing down to, instead of throwing 250, I'm going down to 125. So, but I'm being funny about my distances, but literally it's actually interesting to hear somebody like you who's newer to the tour and you're seeing all these professionals and kind of figuring out and learning these things. So obviously continuing to learn everything, like you talked about, tour, how to learn courses, how to maybe disc down, putting, driving, all these skills. Getting better is maybe the primary thing you're focused on. Do you have any other like larger goals like that you're pursuing, or is it just kind of like maybe a week at a time and just seeing how this evolves? Just really curious where your pursuit and your focus is at the moment.
I mean, the goal is to be the best, so just taking each week to get towards that, get a little better each week, each day, and yeah, figure it out.
Awesome. Nope, love to hear it. Is there anything else you're looking to dabble in? Like we've seen you in different, YouTube videos and clips and media, and kind of you can grow your presence on the tour in that way as well. Is that something you're looking to continue to kind of grow? And
Yeah.
we call it brand presence, right? But is that something you're aware of and trying to do?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
What are the brands that you're representing that are supporting you? Is it multiple ones, like significantly? Who are those?
Discraft.
Yeah, right now, so I'm with Discraft, Supreme Flight, Grip, and then just signed with Vessi for the rest of the year, just like at the start of this month. So.
Can I ask this, because now I just feel like I have to ask, because I've seen so much all in on disc golf and Vessi. Is it fair for me to ask, and you don't have to answer this, did they reach out to you or did you reach out to them? And because I've seen, it almost seems like it's a intentional market grab. They're trying to get in disc golf. So I'm just curious how that happened.
Yeah, they reached out to me like over a year ago at this point and sent me some shoes to try out, and then I've just kind of worn them ever since, and wasn't like sponsored by them for the first part of this year, but I've been wearing them every day. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. No, it's cool. I honestly thought about reaching out to Vessi to understand, but then I was going to have them pay to be on our No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But in the long run, it looks like those shoes, it's another, I don't mean this any other way, because I'm actually interested in getting a pair of Vessis. So this is coming from someplace that is interested. But we saw this with Paul Macbeth when he was really using the Adidas Terex. And everybody was going and getting the Adidas Terex. Everybody is the best shoe in disc golf. And then we saw for a while there was this real push towards the idiosyncrasies, and others like in the disc golf world is a push. A lot of players got them, and now I don't mean this any other way, but just watching a trend now, it seems like Vessi is probably that shoe that's like everybody should give this a shot, and that's cool. In fact, if they're as waterproof as everyone's, I mean, you can tell us, waterproof is a big game changer when you're playing in the dew and the wet and the rain. I mean, yeah. So
it's nice for the morning rounds for sure for FPO.
Yeah.
Yeah, tall, wet grass.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, now I'm interested in getting a pair of goggles and go swimming in my mud hole back here behind my house. I've got a small pond. I guess you go face to face with like, oh, did you ever? Okay, now I just thought, did you ever see on like social media? I think they call it noodling, where the people swim down and they reach their hand in a hole and then they grab a fish. Have you ever seen that or thought of doing that?
I have seen it. Yeah. I mean, I've never lived in places that you can really do that. But I would try it.
You're on tour now. I'm trying to think where the tour would go with that, but that would be epic. So,
I mean, I caught some catfish when I was down in Texas, just like fishing.
Okay.
But that's the type of fish that people are doing that with.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you were going to say you just catch fish by your hands, but that's a whole nother thing. So. Yeah. Anyways, that's cool. We appreciate having you on. Ben had mentioned, and I don't know if it's true or not, but hey, her time's limited. So we're glad you're here. We appreciate it. We hope that you have a great evening. And if Ben's there, you can let him know. Otherwise, we're gonna take him off camera anyways. But thanks for joining the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. He's here.
All right, cool. Peace out. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh. Oh, Ben, he's back in prison. This is a show similar to like a little bit similar to how we used to do MVP Open, where people would be hanging out. There's Luke Taylor. Boy, do I have a story about Luke. How are you doing, dude?
Doing great. How are you, Matt?
Good. How's the RV?
Terrible. I mean,
I'll just leave it at, I won't leave it quite at that, but like the Gorilla Tape, I mean, did that peel off nicely or is it still on there?
It's still on there. Same
really?
flavors. Yeah.
Dude, that's an advertisement for Gorilla Tape.
Absolutely.
We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, that's cool to see you, man. I think is it Anthem Disc Golf? Is that the social media channel doing a little feature slow-mo of your throwing? And that's getting a lot of attention, man. Where did you learn to throw like that?
Just kind of home taught. When I started playing disc golf, I wrote a bunch of pros' names down, and I would like play little mini tournaments with myself, trying to imitate their form, and that really helped me get a feel for how I wanted to throw, and eventually just that kind of transformed into my own thing. So I actually took a lot of inspiration recently from Cole. Before we were even friends, his performance at 2023 Ledgestone was honestly, in a way,
This is the worst.
Are we off? Are we off now?
Yeah.
No,
You've been
you're
on the whole time.
We're on.
Oh, yeah, no.
Ben, you just...
Ben does this every time I go full screen. He just loses it because he thinks the shot looks horrible.
We're cramped. Our shorts are up to our... It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
What?
I want to hear what Luke was saying.
I was listening
Personally.
literally. Now I'm crying because Ben's telling me about his thighs. Okay. So what I was going to say, and I want to let you finish that. I was going to say, like, specifically to my children, but I'm thinking Tanner, my second oldest for sure. Hearing what you just said, like, I want them to, and I can push them towards this, but hearing it from pro athletes is a little bit more sometimes powerful than the parents. Like, you would look at other players' forms and try to emulate. I think that's a fun way. I think that's a really fun way to learn your shot. And I see Cole nodding as well. I think that's a fun way for a kid to be like, hey, let me see what I could do here. And it gives you a lot of control over your body. But yeah, finish what you were saying before Ben cut you off. If you remember. If you don't, that's fine too.
Yeah, I think I was just saying Cole's performance at 2023 Ledgestone was honestly in a way inspiring. And I hadn't really ever watched him throw before, but it was just buttery smooth, and it felt like something I could kind of fit into really well, and it kind of helped me frame what I wanted to do from there. And with little tweaks here and there, it's gotten to where it is now, and I'm very happy with the way I throw the disc. But yeah, credit to Cole. He's had great form for a long time.
Ice cold.
Appreciate it.
Ice Cole, Redalen at Ledgestone, he's talking about 2023. I think we were all impressed with that showing for sure. And obviously now you have Luke Taylor trying to beat you and inspired by your form. So fantastic. You have great form, dude, for sure. Most players, and I can't come out quite and say, like, I know your average, your top 20, but I'll call you guys top 20 players at some level, sometime, somehow. You guys are doing it regularly. You have to have good form, or is that not true? I mean, are there players in the top 20 right now? You don't have to say their names, where you'd be like, dude, how are they doing this?
I would say like one or two.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the top pros, the last 5% of our throw, all looks very, very similar. So as long as like your reach back to pull through looks relatively the same, you're doing pretty much everything right, whether your run up is perfect or not.
What do you think about a form like and I don't think this is who you're thinking of, maybe it is, but what do you think about a form like Matty O? It's so unique. Can you think of it?
I mean, yeah, I can think of it, and I've been thinking about it ever since I first saw it. I don't still really feel like I have an answer. All I can say is he has some of the best angle and nose control of anybody out there, and I think that's really because he comes through his shoulders, so he's able to guide the disc a little bit more with his upper body. And because of the way that he hits his nose angles and his vertical angles, it's just really impressive to see how he can shape a disc differently than everybody else. And I think because he hits his angle so well, that converts to distance as well in his ability to spin the disc a lot as well. So yeah, it's just a completely different style, but I don't think it's any less inferior to what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think somebody who didn't have long arms could pull that off. Like Matteo is very lanky, and he's able to use his body like that. But like somebody like me whose arms aren't as long, like I just feel like I wouldn't be able to do anything with a disc if I was pulling through from that high. But yeah, I would definitely say he's probably the most shocking to watch play as well as he does, but he's really good at how he throws it. So.
The reason I bring up form is because I think both of you have fantastic, like what you should emulate is form. I'm thinking of what other player? Oh, so it's possible that this is like evolved over the years, and you guys are younger players. But do you remember Ricky Wysocki? Would you still say his backhand form is unique in some level, or like where would you put that? Because I feel like if I look back to when he was transitioning into the backhand, it had a really interesting look to it as well. Are you guys familiar? Obviously, you're familiar, but I mean, does that stand out to you at all?
Yeah. I mean, for how much distance he gets, it is definitely different than, when you watch Gannon throw the disc, or either of us, or really a lot of the top pros. And it is different, but the way that Ricky does it is, I will say, it is very efficient and is very simple, and he uses it very well.
I think he just likes to coil really early, and I think he's gotten really comfortable with that. And for some players, that could be harder to replicate because you're dealing with a lot more whip on the arm. But I'm sure he's been throwing like that for quite a long time, and it's been working for him. I just think that's the only true difference that he's making. But his footwork is still pretty similar to everybody else.
Yeah, and it's just interesting because I'm appreciating so much the fact that you guys are talking form, like I said, from two very developed good form players. Just looking at different styles, it's starting to, and maybe you guys could kind of summarize this for me, but there has to be something at an elite level. So you mentioned Matty O, okay, but his form's different, but he's doing something else at an elite level, right? Like his angles are very elite. Ricky's doing a little different, but he's developed it to a place where it's allowing him to be efficient or whatever. Like it sounds to me like everybody, it even used to be talked about Macbeth. He used to have, I think they would use like a wide rail, right? Like at some point he'd bring his arm out a little bit further in front of him. Everybody seems to do something a little different, but do you think there is a form that should be, I don't want to say it's the only way, but there is a form that's centralized. Would you guys agree with that? Like you should kind of strive towards something if you're learning?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are tools out there to help. I think the tutorials everywhere, all over YouTube. I would say growing up, I thought that at least in the era that I watched, Simon had the best form. But now I would say Gannon's form is elite. Just like the way that Gannon talks about form, his disc golf knowledge, his disc golf IQ is ridiculously high for somebody of his age, and he's all disc golf all the time, and it's truly impressive the way that he can kind of break it down and make it work for such a lengthy frame. And obviously it's not going to work perfectly for everybody because there aren't a lot of people playing disc golf that are 6'7", with however wide his wingspan.
NBA wingspan.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah. So I just think, like I said, I think the last 5% of the throw is the most important part. And if you're able to get a consistent and efficient reach back and pull through, and have your lower half working with your upper half really well, I think you're doing almost all of the work already. And there's only a couple things that you have to tweak because, I mean, we could talk about it all day. There's James Conrad and then there's Corey Ellis, run-ups are completely different, but their last 5% is very similar.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess for my point of view, real quick. I mean, I copied Macbeth and Drew Gibson. Those were kind of my two form inspirations, and my body type could not be more different from both of them.
Yeah.
So as much as I tried to copy them, it helped me formulate basics, and I just think that's what anybody. Sorry, these comments are crazy.
It was Silas and Alden. They're having a conversation on the show.
I think anybody trying to improve their form, the best place to start is to copy somebody. You have to copy somebody who has good form, and then you kind of got to turn it into your own thing. But you still have to make sure that you're checking the boxes of a power pocket, of rotating your hips, of rotating your shoulders at the same time as everything else. So, I think there's definitely, like you're saying, I think there's a few boxes that need to be checked for everybody to have good form and to be able to throw far. But copying someone really helps you get the feel for it, and slow-moing yourself to somebody else can help you see those glaring differences.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to ask this question. I'll throw it to Josh. How convinced are you in your abilities to teach somebody form that you could take someone like Josh, who he jokes, but I bet he doesn't throw 300. He probably throws 250. He's a grown man. How confident in your abilities do you think you could take someone like Josh and be like, dude, we get you over 300 in an afternoon? Easily, Josh.
All right, yeah.
Easily.
I believe it too, but I don't commit enough to it. That's the problem.
So, Cole, when you come out here, we could do a little segment called "Take Josh to 300 feet easily."
I'm so ready.
I think
that would be actually that.
We
could
gotta
be
find
fun.
a hole of pyramids or something,
Yep.
and we'll stick them on the tee
All
pad.
right. All right,
Yep,
we can do it
for
I'll
sure.
drive the basket. Yeah.
That would be kind of fun and interesting. We'll see. All right, so I want to move off of form if we can. For just a
Okay,
minute.
good.
And I know we've got other
there's
people
some
to be brought
form
in.
masters in the house.
I think it's great.
Okay.
But first of all, I want to actually compare. I don't know. Do you all know how close your performance is on the tour this year between the two of you?
Ridiculous.
Okay,
Oops.
so maybe you already know, which is awesome. But it's like kind of like uncanny, like close. But before I actually highlighted some of that, Cole, in many ways, I mean, you've been on the tour now for quite a few months, I think really since March, but coming off of really an injury season, right? So like, how are you feeling? And is that still like a part of your game, or is it like that's in the past?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the funniest part is I've been playing injured all year. I've been barely practicing for each event, and so I'm pretty grateful for, you know, honestly, as well as I have been playing, to be in the Tour Championship currently is a pretty cool milestone for me because the amount of adversity that I've had to deal with off the course is something I wouldn't really wish upon anyone. Not really able to do much of the things outside of disc golf that I love to do, like other sports or other activities that just require you to maybe run or I don't know. I don't like to, do anything athletic. And there would be times where I've had to quit practice rounds halfway through, only have one practice round per event. And I believe for there was one tournament on the West Coast where I only got in like 9 holes of practice, and so it's been a really difficult road this season, and I feel like over the last 2 weeks it's starting to feel really good. And Preserve was hilarious because I felt no pain and it was awesome, but I almost felt like I forgot how to throw without pain because I'd been compensating all year long, and so. I'm grateful for how well I have played this season. Obviously, it's not the standards that I'm holding myself to, but it's been a really difficult road, and I'm just staying patient with it, eating healthy, trying to get in the gym when I can. It's to the point where doing PT even hurts. So just like resting is not the word an athlete ever wants to hear. But I think I'm coming out of the other side of it. I'm still going to Europe. I'll be going there for 5 weeks. That's really exciting. And I'm hoping to continue to play this season and finish it out very strong. I definitely have my eyes set a little bit more towards 2026 for a healthy season. But this year I'm proud of, how I've handled it and everything I'm doing to try to get it to, go away 100%. So,
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Injury recovery, no joke. Obviously, I'm not a professional by any means, but I've had to recover from other injuries. I'm a big runner, and I've had to deal with things and take you out for a year or two in physical therapy, and you become a stronger person for it. So I hope that's what actually happens for you in the long run.
Absolutely.
So
I think you've dealt with adversity of an injury. It's a lot different than adversity in your disc golf game. We've all gone through adversity in our disc golf game and in and outs of good play and bad play. But when you can't even fix your bad play, like that is a whole other level of frustration where you can't even go to a field or even be on a practice green for more than 20 minutes before you just need to go lay down again. So,
Yep. So we're not going to go through all the stats, and I think we're probably about to wrap up with you. But literally, Luke has played 9 events. Cole, you've played 8. Your average finishing place is less than one position on the leaderboard. literally, like you're that close. Your average rating is like less than 1 point off of each other on the season. If you look at like caching and all those, like I know we've got cameos popping in, but like it's incredibly close. And so obviously you're all pushing to make it into the Pro Tour Championship. Obviously, podium and wins, that's what really matters. But it sounds like you both have a competition on your hands, just beating each other out in the second half of the season here.
So I think that's the funniest part is last year we on tour was the first time that we had like actually started to hang out more and just like do friends stuff on the road. And we were much more competitive with each other and literally everything until he got injured. And then from there we had to dial back, and we still competed in disc golf whenever he was around. And the biggest change this season for us is like a lot of our plans this season revolve around both of us touring together and kind of growing up a little bit. So we've taken it a lot more seriously when we're practicing together. We're bouncing ideas off of each other, and we're trying to break down the course similarly. And obviously, like that all kind of comes out in our performances. But as many times as we've finished very closely on the leaderboard, we haven't really tried to make that a competition between the two of us, because with him being injured, I've wanted nothing more than just to see him get back to where I know he's capable of playing. And I know that he feels the same way about my performance. And I think it's just good that we're both so supportive of our disc golf journey. We want what's best for our games and our life on the road. And I think it translates to our disc golf games. We're both not having quite the season to Sully. We're both not quite having the season to our standards yet, but I think we're going to get there very soon.
So
awesome.
I appreciate that. I have to say this for our audio listeners. At the very least, they got to come back and watch, because every now and then, like, if Luke's talking and he just starts saying Sully, like, it's not Tourette's or anything like that. He's literally like, something's happening. So you'll have to check it out later, guys, if it's confusing.
I saw Ezra Robinson face or whatever. But
yeah,
we're about to let you both go. Thank you for joining us. You also know that only one of you actually has a United States Junior Disc Golf Championship title to their name, right?
Oh.
Luke Taylor. And if everybody's wondering why the heck I'd bring that up, Matt and I ran that event. I would tournament directed it. But you did not play in the same year or same age groups either. But
dude, that young
Taylor,
Cole Redalen though, that young Cole Redalen video I have is pretty special. We'll have to find that.
Yeah,
I'm still salty. We only played Fox once, because I definitely would have won if we played.
Yeah, it's probably true. I'm not going to deny that. And for those who go back and look, 2018, Luke had a 26-stroke win. Or 25 stroke.
Oh, 25, sorry.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey guys, thank you for joining. Honestly, I know we know each other off the course as well. Keep up the good work. I know it's a grind, whether it be injuries or just figuring out how to compete. But rooting for you out there. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll just say one closing thought for myself is just like, as far as the competitiveness goes, between us or anything else, like, I try to save the competition for the course, because it's already stressful enough doing it for your job and as a living. And it's like, if you bring that intensity off the course, you're just bringing yourself down, you're bringing other people down, and we're all so competitive. Like, you need to, take a break and just lift each other up every once in a while, because I mean, even if other people are listening, they have friends and people they compete with all the time. Like, lifting each other up is only going to make yourselves feel better about each other and better about your own game. Instead of just making a competition all the time. So just really trying to enjoy the sport off of the course of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, I think has been a huge help this season.
Yeah.
Some great insights. Thanks for sharing.
Cool. Yep.
All right, guys.
So
thank you.
We'll see you around. Peace out.
Appreciate it.
Good evening.
There's Ben. I'm going to go full screen on him and let him... How many guys can they fit on a couch? Oh my goodness. Harry, Chace, Alden, Harris. 1, 2, 3, 7. 7 people on the shot. I'm going to have a hard time making the thumbnail tonight. Well, maybe not too hard. We'll let AI decide what to do with this photo.
All right, we made it.
All right, Ben, you're on.
Well, I think.
Oh no. Matt Schlabach on the pig pile. The pile of pros. Wow, Ben, take it away.
I think before we get any further, Silas or Alden has a wait.
No.
Oh no. What? All right, this is a moment, a timestamp. How many guys can break the couch? It's wild. It is absolutely wild. Josh, describe what you're seeing.
No, I'm not even gonna, because then YouTube's gonna transcribe it and it's gonna be ridiculous.
Was that 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it was 9 guys.
What I really hope is we don't find out later that somebody got injured. And
Silas has something to say. He's beef.
It's not beef. It's just a question. I remember seeing a clip of Josh saying that Isaac Robinson was a flash in the pan and he wouldn't win anymore. I was just wondering, at what point did that happen, and how do you feel about that statement and how it aged?
Josh will never live it down.
Oh no, I feel great about that statement. At the time, and clearly I was completely wrong. Although I've since tweaked that take to say what I really meant is he wouldn't perform well at Elite Series events and only perform well at majors. That's what I actually meant to say, and I think maybe I'm correct with that, but we'll see how that plays out.
What's going on, guys? You're having a lot of fun. 9 guys on one couch is a little interesting, but what are you guys up to? Excited for the Discmania Challenge?
Yes.
Yes. It's hard to interview this many people at one time. Alden is also a U.S. Junior Disc Golf Championship winner. He is he's the second one tonight.
Yeah.
Silas,
fun history.
We're going to try to give all these accolades out. One, he's video editing extraordinaire. But he also has pop-off events where everyone goes, oh yeah, Silas is really good. Recently.
Sometimes he plays good, but other times he's inconsistent.
Oh yeah.
And then you got Ezra Robinson with a big Elite Series win coming into the season. What's going on since then, Ezra? What's going on? Tell us what's going on.
I think honestly been battling expectations. I know Isaac touched about that when he got his first win. So it's like, once you win, you're kind of like, I feel like expected to win others. And especially I expect that of myself. So it gets it gets a little frustrating. But just working through that. And also I changed up my putters. So that's new.
Okay.
Ooh, tell us.
Anybody want to putt it?
I know it.
I know what to do.
Leak it. No, don't leak it. Don't leak it.
I could be a leaky leaker.
No, you won't. People knew I was going to Discmania.
I don't have cricket sounds to play, but Sullivan Tipton. We've already talked to Gannon, but so Sullivan Tipton, you are blowing away last year's performances. At least on average, is how we've kind of summarized it for our game and stuff here. If you were averaging 46th place last year, you are now averaging better than 20th. So more than 27 spots better this year. There is a secret to that success, I'm sure. Or do you not know what it is?
No, this year's been good as far as disc golf wise for sure. I think part of it has to be this is my first year really dedicating myself to disc golf. Even the last 3 tour seasons, I've been doing school and disc golf. So I was at college, graduated last May, and so it's really my first full year giving it a real shot, real dedication, and then obviously traveling with Gannon, kind of sharpening iron. He's making me better, fixing some of my things that I need to work on, and and then also just hanging out with all these guys is just good competition every week, bro. It makes you better, the competition you got around you, too.
If we dropped your Northwest Disc Golf Championship rounds, you would be averaging 12th place this year, dude. That is absolutely no slouch at all. That's actually incredible. I know Ezra just mentioned expectations, but are you starting to get to this place where you're like, all right, next year better be this good? Are you still in the mindset here? Do you feel like you're dreaming, or is this what you expect of yourself now?
Yeah, I know, like, whenever you it's hard to really know, like, what to expect right now, first year really giving it a shot. And so I think right now it's like getting like a taste, of these lead cards, getting a taste of like these top 10 finishes consistently. And so, yeah, I'm trying not to give myself expectations because then it just puts more pressure you don't really need. But I'm just trying to have fun with it, just stay grinding and, compete at the highest level I can. So it's been good so far, and so it's been fun. Honestly, that's probably the biggest thing, just having fun this year with all the guys traveling with is just made it really enjoyable too. So,
question for the group. If you had to use a word to describe Ben Kenny, what word would you each choose?
Intern.
Intern.
Oh. Silas.
I would say normal.
Normal?
Very normal, yeah.
That's 2 words.
Sorry. Just most
sporadic.
Honestly,
Say it.
I was gonna say, bro, he grinds videos when Gannon doesn't want to.
That is more than one word.
I mean, I know it's not a word, but Ben's always like, Gannon, we gotta film these videos, and he's like, nah, man, I'm trying to. And Gannon's like, no, come on, dude, we're make some more YouTube videos, pump these out. He pushes Gannon, bro. When Gannon's like,
okay, it's all right, yeah. It's the other way around, but no big deal.
I'm gonna say unexpected.
Oh.
And I've learned to expect.
I'm gonna say special.
What did you expect?
Unassuming? Unassuming, kind of? Unexpected, unassuming way? Yeah. We feel similarly up here.
I never know what to expect. So, with Ben.
All right, my turn. Sully, the GOAT. Come on. Gannon lives in a twin bed in his own house.
Okay, this is real. I'm staying at Gannon's house, his own room. He's in a twin bed.
Hey, and I'm staying at Gannon's house, and I'm staying in a twin bed.
But I'm in a queen bed at Gannon's house. Like,
hey,
what is that?
New tour, little bed, big dreams.
We ain't got a little bed, but we got big dreams.
That stamp is coming.
Humble beginnings. Even though he's number 1, he's still.
Sometimes you gotta dream big.
He's trying to make it out.
I'm trying to make it out, man. It's tough.
You'll make it. You'll make it. If I give you a little sad piano music, it might inspire you.
Hey, Urbandale's a tough place. I mean,
It's hard to find twin beds anywhere.
yeah, it's like I just don't make them, and it's just like so rough. But I'm trying to get out, and I think that's just a good way to prepare for it.
Oh, this is excellent. I guess we'll kind of bring it towards the end of the show here. On the East Coast, we're a little bit ahead of you guys, and we don't disc golf for our full-time job. So what is going to go down for the Discmania Challenge? Like, what do you guys have plans to do? You tour a lot together. Is this going to be different? Like, Gannon's kind of in a home area. You guys are staying out of his house. Like, post rounds, do you guys have plans of just hanging out and having fun? Is that normal every single event, or is there something different about this one?
I mean, this is also like the reason why we're all here together right now is it's like our 5th steak night.
Shout out to Matt Schlabach, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to support this show, support all of us, support our boy Matt Schlabach, TitanDiscGolf.com.
Read the hat.
TitanDiscGolf.com is the best way you can support. So if everyone in here can at least make a purchase, it'll make a change in the world.
That's true.
The next one who purchases, Gannon will personally sign.
Boom, done.
We just use Gannon to sign
The
stuff.
next 250 orders, I will sign. Okay, no, I'm lying.
The next one? Or what if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Boom.
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 Well, Ben,
5 of the next 500 orders.
Ben's responsible for coordinating that, everybody. So.
Well, Schlabach just has to know the orders. I don't know.
All right.
Maybe he does.
Fun idea.
Good try.
I thought of an idea, or Josh did, is would you guys rate our pop drop lock picks? I think we've done this before.
This is how we'll finish.
This is how we'll finish. We're going to tell you our picks and hopefully you're not one of them. I'll say that. Or like, hopefully no one on here is a drop pick for anyone. That might be embarrassing.
I'm getting dropped.
You guys are all like now rating who's going to be a drop pick. All right, let's see here.
And again, drop is relative to your average, right? And pop is relative to your average. So we say, what are you averaging this year? And are you going to overperform or underperform? And then
This
we pick
week.
somebody to win. Yep, just this
All right,
week.
here we go. Let's pull
let's
it
do
up, the game.
This is how we'll finish.
Ready?
Thanks, Ben. It's exciting. All right, so Nick's not here, so we're just going to go ahead and pull up Nick's picks first. Nick's picks is... Did he not update them?
Too late.
Did he not up them? Is that Herman? Is that even a...
Is that Herman?
Is that a European?
Who's Herman? Herman's goated, bro.
Wait, y'all got Herman? He's a drop. No, he's a lock.
I don't think he updated it enough. That was a pop pick. Herman Atlow, I think, is it. These are okay. These are Europe. He didn't update them.
He probably submitted it in
Did he
pop
pop?
rock block.
He said, I don't remember now. We'll have to look back. Okay. Nick said he would
Definitely
update
not
him, but he didn't. Ben, what should we do? Should we allow Nick to update his picks later?
Yeah, allow him to update.
No.
Whoa.
Herman's gonna go crazy. He needs to keep him.
Okay.
I don't even
Actually,
think he's
we do
playing.
have a little bit of business to do here. Let me say this out loud. Let me say this out loud, and we're gonna get the couch to vote on this minus Ben. So we have on the show this running game between hosts, and a lot of people are competing outside of the host as well, but the hosts always have to get their picks in by Monday evening. If we don't, we specify get your picks in before the event starts, right? Like if it didn't happen on a Monday night, get them in before the event starts. Well, 3 weeks ago, Ben didn't submit his picks until 30 minutes after the first round.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you gotta hear the full. I had lawyered up for this, okay? I lawyered up, okay?
He didn't beat the allegations.
He says if the app allowed me to submit, Matt, it should count. That was his take.
No, I changed my argument though.
Okay, then his argument was the rules on the public game website say that you have to submit by 7 a.m. Eastern the day of the event. What I would agree if we're playing with those public rules, that would be the case. But as host, we set our own rules. We say by Monday night or before the event.
I actually sued the show. I'm like, this is a lawyer, like, suing the show.
Discgolf.log got involved.
For the listeners who thinks he's joking, he actually sent us like
Discgolf.log got involved. We
That's too
responded
blurry, Ben.
with our rebuttal officially. And here's my take. In an effort not to be sued, the $900,000 that Ben thinks he's losing in damages.
$900,000?
Not even kidding. Look.
That's accurate.
So that we don't have to go through this long, drawn-out legal battle, I think for the host's sake on our show, we will let the hosts get their picks in for that because Ben thinks that's the right thing to do. And I think...
But here's the real thing. On the website, it said, you must submit your picks by 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Ben.
The day the tournament started. The tournament was in Sweden and it started on a Friday. I got it at 11:55
No, you're good.
on Thursday.
You're good.
Honestly, that does seem valid.
Yes!
But here's the problem. We've never played by those rules. On air, if we say what the rules are, aren't we bound to those?
Well, dude,
We
it
have.
was in
Oh, hold on.
private.
The hosts have different. No, everybody needs to hear this. The hosts have different rules than all the other participants. We've always said we lock it in on our show together, and then we're not allowed to change them unless somebody withdraws from the event. So the difference this week is we didn't pick them on the show.
Never been
Was
aware.
Ben made aware? Ben was made aware?
Never made
Oh yeah, that's always been our thing.
Okay. Yeah. Ben,
But here's the difference. Here's the difference.
No.
We did not make picks that week on the show, so we said pick it before the event
He
starts.
said it's naysay.
So we said pick it before the event starts. And here's the kicker. We sent out, Josh and I, multiple text reminders the whole day. And he didn't get to until after 30 minutes. So here's the thing.
Wait. It's because my phone was lost. I didn't get any of the texts.
Oh, there's a
That's
lot of good
also true.
arguments here. A lot of good arguments. But so for the favor of fun and the interest of excitement, we're allowing the hosts to put their picks in for that because we believe their integrity that they did not cheat, that they were just late. We're going to let their picks go in for that event.
I would have won the case anyways.
Okay.
But not because the rules, I don't think the rules allowed for it. But that's okay. For fun, we're letting everybody back in. Now let's see let's see what the results are, by the way. Season leaderboard. Ben, you're 140 behind me.
Oh, wait, let me check.
Even with the update.
I know, because I got negative last one.
So, all right, let's do the rate
All
the
right, let's
picks.
do the
Here we
picks.
go.
Let's do it.
I'm going to pull up my picks now. Ben Calloway to Pop in Des Moines here. Ben Calloway to Pop. He's averaging 50 something, 55. You think he's a good Pop pick?
Absolutely.
He just had a birthday. He's looking strong.
Iowa guy.
Okay, 52nd. You like it. Let's go to drop. This one's iffy, guys. I'm kind of playing the odds. He wasn't around a lot of the year playing well. Lately he is, but I'm going Corey Ellis. I just feel like it's not that his talent level's not there, but I just feel like he's having such an upswing for the last 3 events that it's hard to keep up.
You're saying he's popping or dropping?
Dropping this week. Now, not a lot. Not a lot. He's averaging let me pull it up here. He's averaging 22nd. So I'm saying he's going to do worse than 22nd. Is that a bad pick?
It's not horrible, but
It's not going to be a lot.
He's a major champion. He is.
It's not going to be a lot of points. I know that.
It's
a
never
little
easy
safe.
to pick somebody to play below their average. It's always hard.
I know you're good.
All right, we got to go through these
Wait.
fast.
Mine shouldn't say Niklas. That was not my pick. I'm going to read you my pick off of popdroplock.com. It is, and then I'll update it. It is actually Ganon Burr.
Whoa!
Good pick. Good pick. Is it a good pick? Yeah? All right. And now on the Pop side, the winner last year had a good showing last week at U.S. Women's, Emily Weatherman, to Pop. She's averaging 24th right now.
Yeah, she'll do better than that. Yeah, facts. That's a good pick.
Okay, dropping. This is really hard. FEO is really tough. Sophia Donike. I don't know that I think she's going to drop like a lot. She's averaging right now like 10th or 11th. That's just a hard thing to keep up. I don't think she's going to pop off. I don't think she's going to fall far, but I'm just playing my odds that maybe she's 13th or 14th. And then finally locking on Holland Handley.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Ben's picks. Ben, here come your picks.
Rattle them off. We can't do 10 minutes on everybody's picks.
No, but we want to get their reaction.
That's how Schultz is going to drop.
Schultz is
Dropping Ganon Burr.
Yo, Ben.
Okay, read them off.
So I'm going to Pop Silas Schultz.
Bad pick.
Drop Ganon Burr.
What?
Lock Kevin Fodry.
Okay, so he's
What?
He's gone off the rails.
All right. Actually, I just checked Pop Draw Glob. That's not my actual picks. Hold on. Let me check my real picks. Let me check real quick. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Pop Ben Calloway. Drop Evan Smith.
Ooh.
Lock Ganon Burr. and then the FBO is the same. To Pop Taylor. Drop Own. Lock Holland.
You picked Ben Calloway as well? Wow.
Yes, 100%.
If I'm not mistaken, Evan Smith made his first league card here.
Here's the thing. Isn't this his first, has he played at all this year?
He played last week.
That's why his average is at 15. It's only one. That's why I'm kind of like, it's not his actual average. It's only his one event.
There's not enough data.
Yeah, so I'm saying, I'm hoping that he'll get to maybe 30.
Whoa, you think he's not going to drop that far? Evan Smith will not finish outside the top 20.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with it. The only reason is not because I hate Evan Smith's the GOAT. It's just because
He's gonna win. Evan
he
Smith's
went.
gonna win.
He did preserve. He has one event.
The fire.
He has one event. That's all. All of you guys have 3 events worth of averages. Evan Smith has 1.
How is that possible?
No,
Wait.
you have to have more than one. We don't let
Evan
them be in the
Smith
game.
has Evan Smith has 6 events this year.
Played all year.
You
won 2
you
events.
said at preserve.
You played at preserve.
Oh, I thought you only played preserve. I haven't seen it.
He's been out here.
Oh my goodness.
He wouldn't be in the game if he only had one event, Ben. We strip all that
So
out.
that's why he's 15. Yeah. Oh.
He's goated.
Locked it in.
Yeah.
Last week was like his worst race.
I'll go Joel Freeman. Is he playing?
He's only played one event.
But that's what I'm going for. It says he signed up.
You can't. They have to actually be in the game. They have to be in the game.
Yeah, they have to be in the game list, which
Joel Freeman is.
Okay. So are you switching it?
Yes. Because
Okay.
for some reason I thought I was just looking for the one event wonder. And Joel
Say
Freeman.
out loud who your
Joel
picks are
Freeman's
again, because we
averaging
don't have it
25th.
on screen. You need to say them out loud.
Pop.
Ben Calloway.
Ben Calloway. Drop. Joel Freeman. Lock. Gannon. Pop. Taylor. Drop. Lock. Colin.
All right. Got it. Then we're going to rate Josh's. Here's Josh's picks. We got
All right, here they are to pop off. Adam Hammis, who's averaging 23rd. To drop is Simon Lizotte. And to lock is AB.
What is average? What is Simon average?
He's averaging 16th, so it's just a gamble. But every once in a while, he drops into 25th place.
Good pick. Yeah.
You think? Bro, you can get like 40 points.
Gannon goes, Morella's a good pick.
For lock. Hey, we're only allowed to pick people to win 5 times.
It's true.
I hadn't picked AB yet to win this year.
I have
All right,
one
so to
more
pop-
left for Gannon.
FPO to pop. Ezra.
Pop.
Yep.
Though you might be cooked.
She's averaging 26th. Oh, really? Her finger? Well.
Stop giving them intel.
Oh, you can change it, Josh.
Yeah, maybe. I'll think about it.
I was debating between Emily and Ezra, and I was like, I don't know. Either one has a little injury issue, but now she has a finger thing, huh?
Yeah, Emily has a hip thing.
They're both cooked.
Everybody's covered. Okay, to drop is Hannah Wynn, averaging 15th. I think she's having an incredible year. Just let's see what happens. And then Holland Handley to win.
We all picked Holland. So,
well, she just had an off week.
The Hannah Wynn one, I picked her to drop, and I think I might have done it twice this year, and she keeps proving me wrong, which is like, I got to stop. I got to stop picking her, and now you can do it, Josh.
We'll see.
All right.
You'll have to tell me, for real, should I not pick Ezra? Like, is she not playing?
No, I mean, she just played really well.
It's because
I'm keeping it.
She finished second year.
She's never not had a finger injury.
That's true.
All right, there you go.
That's
I'm
true.
keeping it. I mean, she's averaging 26th, and I'm saying she's going to finish better than that. That's a good gamble.
I think that's a good pick.
That's not US women.
Why did I think Smith just wasn't on tour?
Bro, no, he's been trying.
We don't know why.
He's literally playing good this year. That's his real average.
The only reason is because I saw him at the preserve and said hi to him. That was the only time I ever saw him. I've been on tour since.
If Ben doesn't see you on tour, then you're not on tour.
All right. That segment is presented by Hooligan Discs. They will ship out prizes. They have been shipping out prizes every week to the winners. And we have a leader of the season standings starting to pull away from me by 62 points. And they're going to be locking in. If they can keep it up, there's still a long season to go. They could lock in a round with Simon Lizotte at Maple Hill.
Oh.
I mean, next year maybe it'll be Gannon at Pickard.
Waterford. Greatest course ever.
All right. We made it to the end of the show. You guys carried this to a unique place. We've never had that many guys on one couch. We've had different scenarios going on, but this is a unique one. We are going to wrap it up. Ben, what do you think?
What?
What do you think? We're at the end of the show. Good?
Yeah, do we want Schlabach to come in and say his goodbyes? Or
To TitanDiscGolf.com.
Yes.
I'm going to put up the banner.
There you
Peace
go.
out, guys.
Later, guys.
You hear us, but-
Later.
Epic times. That reminds me of MVP Open, except, Ben, we could do this every week for every event.
I know we should have, but I don't think they're gonna. It's because Schlabach's house is the move. Yes, his house is the move. This is Schlabach's 4th steak night in a span of 8 days.
Dang.
So I've been here 4 times in the span of a week.
And on average, Matt, how many ounces is one of those steaks on average? Like 16, 20? Like, what are we talking?
So each ribeye, we've been doing about 3 ribeyes and then 2 full picanha. So each ribeye's been about 28 ounces. And then a full picanha loin is about 2.5 pounds, so 5 pounds there. So about 10 pounds a
Good.
meat.
And then 4 in a row. So, or whatever, this is the 4th. I'm just going to kind of average that. 476 ounces. About that almost comes, if my math's correct, about 30 pounds of steak in the last 4 events.
Yeah, easily. And that's just since Ben's been here.
Yes.
We've had at least 2 other ones.
Wow.
It's a lot of steak.
I feel like we've had steak night more often than we've not had steak night.
Yes. So every day of the Warriors Thunders, the past 3 games. So think of that. We've had a steak night today. Yesterday was steak night. So we just went back to back steak night. Basically, we have eaten 3 full cows in the span of 8 days.
All right, Matt, meat market dealers are a thing. You have a meat dealer, but let's give a tip to everybody who doesn't have that. What is the best tips or tricks to getting a good cut of meat? If you have a grocery store, is there one that's better than others? Like, where should we look?
I mean, every area is local. Usually there's a local butcher shop. If you can go there, that's probably better. Might be a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get a better quality of meat. Really, the 2 things you're looking for are just the marbling throughout the meat and the color of the meat. I like a nice, real dark red, if not like purple looking meat.
If not purple.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's great. I enjoyed it when I was out there in your shop, having that opportunity to eat some steak with you there as well, and everyone else seems to be doing that regularly. We have the banner on screen for TitanDiscGolf.com. We tell people all the time, this disc selection will not disappoint. They have everything you want. Competitive pricing, rock bottom pricing. In fact, it's so low on some of it that the manufacturers won't let you use our code for a discount because they were so rock bottom. So it is what it is. Go get good deals there. Let TitanDiscGolf.com know you came from Staggered Stance. And I want to say before we actually go, his camera's shutting off, which is fine. Before you actually go, the rules of Pop Drop Lock have actually officially been updated because we have that authority to do that. If Ben wants to follow them, we'll just change them. So
yes.
It says, where does it say? How will I know? Are there restrictions? How are the players' averages? What happens? Are there additional? I don't know. Read through the rules. It says something now about before the event's first tee time, Ben.
I love the language.
It says something like that. And you're going to have to read through it if that's the rules you want to follow. And then it says something along the lines of it's something along the lines of like, hey, if it was scheduled for 8:30 a.m., for instance, Eastern, if that's when it was scheduled and there's a delay, like a storm delay, that doesn't matter. It's whenever the first card was scheduled to go off is when they have to be locked by. So
that's a great rule, and I think that's clear.
We're not following those though, Ben. We don't follow those. That's for the public.
What? Well, we don't follow if we have a show, but we didn't have a show that week.
Yeah, but we said submit before the event. I'll go back and pull it up and show my legal defense. All right. So good times. It's all in fun, guys. Razzing. In fact, that I'll beat Ben even letting him back in with those 100. How many points was that?
It was 100 and something.
100 and something.
115.
Good times. All right. We appreciate, Ben, you bringing everybody in here, and you're on the tour life road, and Matt's back again, and I'm hungry, and we've got long days of work, and we appreciate everybody. Josh, we have people out there serving in the military, going to the daily work grind, all over the world listening and tuning in, saying we help get them through their days. Some people can't believe that. We can't. I can't believe we help people get through their days. But we talking disc golf and having the fun that we do, people enjoy that. Ben, people are always like, how's Ben doing out there, man? He rose up out of Leicester, and now he's a social media mogul. And so...
Thank you. All because of this guy. This guy has fed me
and gives you a house and a home. No, it's your wife.
Caddy tips for Gannon. Like, he's my sensei.
He's your sensei. Bow to your sensei, Ben. All right, we'll talk later, guys. We appreciate it. I I guess Nick's picks, are we going to give him grace, get it in before the event starts? Is that fair?
He's busy. He's a job interview. Good luck with it.
All right, we'll let him get his picks in before the event starts, before the start of the tee time. Cool. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. As always, I say it again, check out TitanDiscGolf.com and be sure to say hi if you see us out there. And if you see Ben out there, let him know as well. We love it, and we'll talk to you guys out there. Until next time, peace out, everybody.
Later.